Why don't you pick on somebody your own size? It's Harmless Phosphorescence! Don't young lady me, buddy. This is your host, Thoreau Smiley. Who else is here?
I'm Josh Cece, and I'm Korean from Earth.
It's time to squish the termites. I'm Brian Lesh.
Remember the garbage days? I'm Alaric Weber.
The garbage days of wine and roses.
Yep.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero ever made. We gather some research into the production and the source material, and then we tell you all about it. The show is brought to you by our patrons. We got patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You can be a patron too. Guys, just go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. And you too can join in the fun. We got all sorts of bonus content there. Monthly movies coming at you every month that aren't superhero related. We got Star Wars stuff, music stuff. So head on over there, check it out. And if you can't afford to, then just rate us. Rate us on the podcast app that you're currently listening to us on. We'd appreciate it, everybody. And that brings us to this week. May I
interrupt you just for a moment?
Oh, yeah. Please. I live for interruptions.
Non sequitur. My hat came in, and so I just wanted to, the elotes. I just wanted to say hats off to Corn Week, as it is still Corn Week. Be safe, have fun.
It is always Corn Week on Harmless Phosphorescence. Yeah.
Yep.
I believe Corn Week started just over a year ago.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Because I guess first Corn Week, I didn't even have any furniture in my house.
Wow!
See what corn has done for you?
We mark the time by the passage of Corn Week, which never ends.
Never ends. Hats off to Corn Week.
Hats off to Corn Week, everybody. And this week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are watching Defendor.
What are you supposed to be? Your worst nightmare. Oh! He calls himself Defendor.
Defender?
Defendor! I want Captain Industry. Who? Evil mastermind.
I'll probably know him then.
Show me.
Well, that kind of information doesn't just grow on trees.
You break the law. You're a punk.
You don't think you've done anything wrong?
Was that wrong?
There are probably better ways to deal with people like that.
Trouble has a way of following me. Where's Captain Industry? This Captain Industry doesn't exist! Live juice! Come on! Please, God, not the live juice! Gonna capture Captain Industry.
Arthur, they have guns?
Guns don't hurt me. Who writes your dialogue, Superman? You strike me as a man of great integrity. Look out, termites. It's squishing time. What's that? A jar. What is it supposed to do? Very little. Except contain a swarm of angry wasps. Hey, yo, whoa!
Defendor, released February 19th, 2010. It is our first movie of the teens.
Oh.
Yeah, we're in a new decade.
Yeah, we're moving.
What? I thought it was 2009.
Nope, 2010. If you guys remember last week, I announced we were doing Kick-Ass. I got the orders mixed up, so I've had to go through and make sure everything. We got reshuffled a little bit going forward. It is released February 19th, 2010, in the United States. It was released in 2009 at the Toronto International Film Festival, but it did not see the light of day in America cinema until February 19th, 2010.
Canada's not America. Keep saying it. I keep saying it.
I keep saying it.
Yeah.
Canadians are grateful, though, I'm sure.
Somebody's got to say it.
It's like you're a flat earther, but it's just such a pragmatic.
There are
Canada
51
is
states,
not
and
America.
Canada is one of them. I've heard it all.
It has a running time of 101 minutes. It cost 4 million Canadian dollars,
You loonies. Yeah.
which is 3.19 million US. It took in $44,000 at the American cinema. Worldwide, actually.
it?
That is worldwide. It took in 44,000.
44,000?
Yeah.
How?
It was
This is great.
It
Yeah, it
was
was.
great.
The distribution must have been terrible on this.
I wonder.
Yes, it was. We'll actually get it. It was so, well, here, let me just look it up now. It was owned by Sony Pictures. They decided not to release it theatrically. So, the production company of the films, which, usually is just set up to actually just run the operation of the film itself. They're usually but they decided to release it themselves theatrically in the US. So it showed on 10 screens.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
It is.
Do we know why Sony pulled the plug on widespread release? I mean, there are questionable moments in the movie, but not enough to. Yeah, I
can't find anything.
Was there a shooting that happened right before this would have been released or anything? I can't think of any violent.
No,
Well,
I think it was just money. I think it was just a money thing. They decided it wasn't going to make its money. Is my guess.
I think also maybe the idea of hey, this isn't this kind of superhero movie people want to see. This is more about a person.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very much like a little indie kind of dramedy.
Yeah.
Than anything else.
For sure.
Yeah. But talking about release, that means, guys, it is time to play the Box Office Top 10 game. Yes, everybody, this is the game where I will count down the top 10 movies of the week of February 19th, 2010. The boys will try to guess what those movies are based on my description, and they will try to guess where Defendor opened. Spoilers, Defendor did not open in the top 10.
All right, that was my question.
It does, however, appear in the top 100. Gentlemen.
All right, well, let's guess the top 10, but we can also guess as our answer.
Yeah, I want to know
anything.
1 out of 100. Let's raise the stakes.
Yeah, where do you guys... Al, you can go first. You don't go first very often. Where do you think Defendor opened in the top 100?
67.
Al says 67. All right. Brian.
44.
Brian goes 44. Josh, what are you thinking?
Well, I was going to use, the answer to Life, the Universe, and Everything. So 42. It's close
Price
to...
is right. Let's do it.
42.
So Josh goes 42. Well, okay, so I'll really quickly, some of the other movies that opened that week. Dream Killer opened at number 92. I don't know what that movie is, but it earned $861.
But I know what it's about.
Yeah. Happy Tears also opened that week at number 62. And at number 61, Defendor.
I like picturing Happy Tears is just another animated penguin movie. It's just much darker and sadder.
Whoa!
It's about this. It's the seal's perspective.
The description is 2 sisters return home to deal with their ailing father, only to face some surprising situations. Starring Parker Posey and Rip Torn.
Oh, wow. When you said ailing father, I thought an alien father.
Oh.
And that was the surprise. It was like, oh, he's actually not sick. He's an alien.
He's an alien.
I'd pay to watch that movie. I'd pay $1.
Parker Posey and Rip Torn.
Together again.
Performing the hit songs of Led Zeppelin.
I've got a whole lot of love.
Now get the fuck out of here.
Also opening this week, I'm going to briefly run down the openers this week. We got at number 48, The Good Guy. At number 36, Blood Done Sign My Name. At 29, The Ghost Rider. At 25, the Oscar-nominated short films of 2010. Jesus Christ. And that brings us to the top 10, guys. All right, you ready?
What was the description for Defendor?
Oh, yeah, Defendor. Let's see what this said. Arthur Poppington, a regular man who adopts a superhero persona known as Defendor, combs the city streets at night in search of his archenemy, Captain Industry.
Oh, wow.
That doesn't really tell you what the movie is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't.
All right, so here we go. Here's the top 10 of the week of February 19th, 2010. Coming in at number 10. As homicide detective Thomas Craven investigates the murder of his activist daughter, he uncovers a corporate cover-up and government conspiracy that attracts an agent tasked with cleaning up the evidence.
I saw this. I just don't remember
It stars Mel Gibson.
Payback?
No, that was a good. Edge of Darkness.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Coming in at number 9. In Paris, a young employee in the office of the U.S. ambassador hooks up with an American spy looking to stop a terrorist attack in the city.
In the city.
I may have said hooked up in a way that doesn't accurately indicate the way they meant hooked up.
Is this Sex in the City Does Paris?
Saves Christmas.
This stars John Travolta and Jonathan Rhys-Davies. They're the ones hooking up.
Yeah, you know.
It's called From Paris with Love, which is why I thought it was a rom-com until I saw the poster.
Oh, is that a play on From Russia with Love?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh boy. Coming in at number 8. A faded country music musician is forced to reassess his dysfunctional life during a doomed romance that also inspires him.
Oh, that was that Jeff Bridges one, right?
Yep, sure was. Anybody remember the title?
Lonesome?
No, but that'd be a good name for him.
Shit, I can't think of it. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It is called Crazy Heart.
Oh, yeah. And then he toured doing the songs that he performed in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
He came to the Fox Theater, and I still regret not going.
All right. Coming in at number 7. Oh, Jesus. This movie. A bad deed on the part of a tough minor league hockey player results in an unusual sentence. I'm leaving it there because anything else I say is going to 100% give away what this movie is.
Goon?
No.
Bad deed of minor league hockey.
Happy Gilmore.
No. This stars The Rock.
Oh.
Was this Walking Tall?
Oh,
No.
No.
is it Slapshot? Did they remake that?
No. I'll read the end of the sentence. He must serve 1 week as a real-life tooth fairy.
What the fuck? That was the premise of the Tooth Fairy movie?
Yes. He's a hockey player.
A Samoan
I was going to say
black
some
hockey player.
Who gets
Samoans on skates.
who gets sentenced to be a tooth fairy.
Yeah, I don't know what's less believable about that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Hockey needs more representation. I'm sure there's all kinds of great hockey players of different ethnicities, but
Yeah, a
Are
black
there
guy.
no-
greatest sport
One black
in
guy.
the world.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like all kinds of people that live up in the Northeast that probably play hockey pretty well.
Yeah, okay, fair
And
enough.
not just The Rock is large, but Samoans are pretty big guys, stout guys. It's got to be hard to balance on ice skates.
Coming in at number 6, romantic drama about a soldier who falls for a conservative college student while he's home on leave. Why does it matter if it's conservative?
Was this? Yeah, was this made by Ben Shapiro?
Right.
Yeah, right. Starring Channing Tatum and Amanda Seyfried.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah,
21 Jump Street.
tale of a bygone era for sure.
It's called Dear John.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Everything about this sounds awful.
Yeah.
Is that the movie version of the Judd Hirsch.
I wish it was. I still think of that theme song every once in a while.
Yeah, totally. I like Channing Tatum. Actually, I like her too, but I have no idea.
Yeah, Channing Tatum was a very underrated comedic actor.
He's charming.
He's charming.
Yeah.
He's not a good leading man.
No, he's way too doofy. Awful. Way too doofy. Yeah. All right, number 5.
Still the best in Hail Caesar. That's still my favorite Channing Tatum role.
Yeah.
Sorry, Magic Mike.
I like him in This Is the End.
I was going to mention that. That was awesome.
But way to make fun of yourself so much. I love it. Because there's a lot of fans of him that are a little bit homophobic.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah. Number 5. Upon his return to his ancestral homeland, an American man is bitten. I'm going to leave it at that.
He's bitten.
And twice shot.
Yes.
Bitten by another man or by a dog.
Yeah, where is he?
Or a vampire.
It's upon his return to his ancestral homeland, an American man is bitten.
So it's Transylvania.
An American werewolf in London.
You're on the right track.
Curse or Attack of the Draculas.
Twilight. The new batch.
Lost in New York.
Vampires in the Hood.
In Brooklyn.
The Wolfman, Benicio del Toro, that one.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
If you don't mind, one of my favorite quotes of all time is Anthony Hopkins in that. And he's like, "Don't look back. The past is a wilderness of horrors."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I heard him say that and I was like, "Oh."
Like, that's some true shit right there, man.
Yeah, I'm going to finish this Wolfman movie.
Yeah. Coming in at...
I've never seen the end of a wolf.
This is the first one you ever watched all the way through.
It's like, I bet it's a silver bullet. Next.
Number 4. A teenager discovers he's very special and there's magic and stuff.
Harry
Sorcerer's
Potter.
Apprentice? No?
It could be any of them. This one is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the lightning thief.
Oh, the colon thief.
Yeah.
The colon thief.
Jude is super, super salty about this movie because it's like one of his favorite book series because, he read them as kids because they're kids' books.
Yeah.
And he was a child at one point. Still is
that
mostly.
Out.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie is not good, is my understanding. Oh, God. Ooh, number 3. Okay. A paraplegic Marine.
Born on the 4th of July?
Dispatched to the moon.
Coming home.
Dispatched to the moon of Pandora.
Oh,
a unique mission. Becomes torn between following his orders and protecting the world he feels is his home.
Avatar. Yeah.
Avatar, the first blue bender.
Yeah, what does he suffer from?
He is paraplegic. I don't know.
Oh, so is he in space too?
Well, I mean, you still can't move your legs even without gravity.
A fantastic point.
In space, no one can feel their legs.
Like, send that dude up. No one can feel their legs.
Ooh.
Solid.
And number 2, intertwining couples and singles in Los Angeles break up and make up based on the pressures and expectations of the holiday.
Oh. Christmas Eve?
No, remember, this is the week of February 19th.
The Valentine's Day Massacre.
Almost. Valentine's Day, it's just called.
Oh.
Yeah. I have a feeling it did much better the prior week.
It should be called Prostitution Day. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
People exchanged flowers and chocolates.
I can't tell you.
For sex.
I can't tell you how many random strangers I've had sex with in February because they gave me chocolate.
It's still, even to this day, that's all it takes.
That's the custom, right? They hand you chocolate and you put out.
Hey, you're making your own customs, Thoreau. This is America.
It's like Mardi Gras, but with chocolate.
Isn't that how we met, Thoreau?
Indeed.
In a restaurant.
I'm going to bring one of those big ass giant, like, skateboard sized Hershey bars to your house.
Or the 1 pound.
And hold it over your head. Like
in your eyes.
It's like a Shock the Monkey.
A different Peter Gabriel. Oh my God. That is hilarious, though. That's a fantastic scene in a comedy movie. Just standing there and what was the song?
Shock the Monkey. I'm pretty sure. I think that's a South Park gag. Actually, just FYI.
Oh, is it?
I didn't come up with
God,
it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. Holding the boombox with it, like trying to woo a woman.
Not to get too deep onto the Shock the Monkey connection, Don Ho covered that song, and somebody animated a music video. Oh God, it is my favorite weird piece of YouTube shit ever. I'll send it to you guys, but it is so cool because it's like late Don Ho doing it.
Woo!
Watch the monkey get hurt, monkey. I love you.
All right. Opening this week at number 1. In 1954, a U.S. Marshal investigates the disappearance of a murderer who escaped from a hospital for the criminally insane.
Oh, Shutter Island?
Yeah, boy. Yes, indeed. Shutter
I watched
Island.
that again recently. It's terrible. I don't know how they did it.
Was this Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yep.
And Mark Ruffalo. And directed by Scorsese.
Yeah.
I remember watching it and just being like, what the fuck am I watching, man? What is this shit?
Yeah, it was almost like it's a lot like this movie, actually, which we'll get to.
Yeah. Yeah, that does.
It ends. Has everyone seen Shutter Island?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out he's a patient there.
Yeah.
So he's created everything.
It was Earth all along.
It was the trees. It's the happening.
The trees. All right. Okay. So that brings us to Defendor. Defendor.
With an O.
With an O. Not Defender. Yeah. Defendor.
And it sounds like a Star Wars planet with the OR.
Oh, wow. Defendor. Yeah.
Yep.
This was written and directed by Peter Stebbings. Peter Stebbings is not most well known as a writer or director. He's best well known as David in Too Close for Comfort.
Wow. I don't remember that character.
No, that's actually a movie.
That was the Dead Night TV show.
Yeah, I know. No, he's not best known for that. He's not best known for anything. He was in a bunch of Canadian movies that I've never heard of. Ruby Red, No Alibi, Drive, She Said, Picture Claire, Blue Boy and Girl in Pink. He played the bad guy in K-19, The Widowmaker. He was in, that 2004 Regeneration. Jack and Jill versus the World, Never Cry Werewolf. These are all movies he acted in. He's basically a C-list Canadian actor. That's kind of where he's at as far as like his profile goes. He did a bunch of
Never Cry Werewolf.
Never Cry Werewolf in a crowded theater.
Well, what if you saw the werewolf coming and then you went to get the villagers and you got back and he'd already turned back into a dude and then all the villagers hate you forever?
The boy who cried werewolf. So he he had a recurring role in The Borgias last when that was on in something called Crossbones. A fair amount of TV, but this is his one big writer-director bid.
Must have been a passion project.
He did also direct. He had a few other writing credits here and there, and he also did direct a movie called Empire of Dirt. So But yeah, this is a full-on indie production. It was let's see. It stars, of course, Woody Harrelson as Arthur. We've I don't know if we've ever talked about Woody before on the show. I don't think he's been in anything we've done.
I don't think so.
Okay, so are you guys aware of the thing with his dad?
No.
I vaguely remember something. His dad was like a murderer or something?
Yeah, so all right.
Talked about him in Solo, but our general listeners
that's right.
haven't.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So
heard it yet.
So Woody's father was a hitman.
Oh, that's right.
Charles
Down
Boyd
Texas.
Harrelson. And he was implicated as being near Dealey Plaza.
Oh no.
Yeah. He did some jail time for murdering a judge, which Woody Harrelson then went and played a character in the movie about that murder.
Wow.
Years later. So yeah, but he always the Judge John H. Wood. But yeah, I don't know. Just an interesting side note. Everyone knows Woody Harrelson, of course.
He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
He really is.
I don't know if I can name one thing, TV or movie, that he did that I don't like in one way.
One other interesting tidbit: he was friends with Mike Pence in college.
What?
They went to college together. He said they knew each other. They were like not close friends, but acquaintances. They'd see each other occasionally, talk, were friendly. And he said, he was always a very passionate guy. I don't know if we'd get along nowadays.
Well, yeah. I mean, he just, probably try and get him stoned.
Yeah.
Well, and he and McConaughey not grew up together, but they came up together, right? They were friends way before we even knew who they were.
Oh, I don't know. I
have this crazy promo picture of the two of them. I'll look for it and text it. But they're easily like 20 years old, and they're like hugging each other, and they have only vests on.
Oh, wow.
That sounds 100% like how I'd picture them.
Yep. Like leather vests.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Leather vest.
We got Kat Dennings as Kat. She's she's Kat Dennings. She started as a child actress in the 90s. Let's see. Doing commercials and such. Her first big role was in Sex and the City. She played the city.
I first noticed her in The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've loved her ever since.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
That Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist was probably
is still going on.
Yeah. Of course, we'll see her again in Thor, the Dark World.
She's the best part of those movies.
Yeah, she is. God, she was great in WandaVision.
Yeah.
I really, really liked her in that. But yeah, she's Kat Dennings. She did quite a few years in network sitcom jail, Two Broke Girls, which I've seen roughly 5 minutes of.
Yeah, I've left it on before, and it's laugh track and restaurant comedy.
Yes, indeed. Sandra Oh as Dr. Park.
Love her.
Is this our first time talking about Sandra Oh? Because wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Eve Pilastri, man.
Yeah, Killing Eve.
You guys haven't watched Killing Eve? It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Although I don't know, the newest season.
I loved it. It was so weird. It
was fine. I don't know. The first season is. I don't think either season 2 or season 3 has held up to season 1, and for me personally, but it's still fun. I still like it.
Yeah, I think they kicked the fun and weird up like to 100 compared to the first one.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. No, it's way more over the top.
Yeah.
Way more over the top than the first season was.
I just sent everybody the picture I was talking about.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love it so much. Is he wearing a Wonder Bread shirt?
Wow, I wonder.
It looks like he is.
No pun intended. Yeah.
Oh man,
those are bros. Those are BFFs
for sure.
And Woody's hair has always looked like that.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
He was born like that.
We all were born like that, but then he lost.
All right, so Sandra she got her start in Degrassi High.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like which iteration do you...
92.
Year?
I think that's the original generation, isn't it? Like early 90s?
I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe so. That's when I was watching it. So
yeah.
Far out.
She did a bunch of like TV stuff in the 90s. She was on Kung Fu the Legend Continue. Lonesome Dove the Outlaw years when she played. She got cast in a lot of really racist roles in the early 90s. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Being a non-white actor in America.
Yeah. And of course she was in, the Red.
Well, not just non-white, but Hollywood, I don't know. They would use Asian people and not give a shit about like what country they were actually from.
Oh yeah, Asian was Asian for sure.
Right.
Which this movie did a really funny job of addressing that directly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's true.
Her big breakout. No, I don't know if it was her big breakout role, but the first movie she was in that I recognized the name of was Bean, as in Mr.
Oh,
she played Bernice Schimmel. Which is awesome.
Go ahead.
Grey's Anatomy is the thing that I think everybody knows her from.
That's her big breakout. But she had roles in The Red Violin, Permanent Midnight, The Princess Diaries.
Big for her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I forgot about Sideways. Big fat.
Won a lot of Oscars. I think I think she was nominated possibly, but don't quote me on that.
I'm not sure.
All right. But yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is. I love Sandra Oh. Let's see. We've got.
Hang on, I got a couple voice credits. I was just scrolling through. They're kind of funny. On Robot Chicken, in one episode, she played Sarah Connor and Kate Winslet.
Wow,
fantastic.
This is more recent. On She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. That's the 2018 to 2020. 7 episodes as Castaspella.
Castaspella.
Apparently that reboot I'm sorry. I was just gonna say apparently that reboot of She-Ra is insane. There's like a full-on lesbian relationship between Catra and She-Ra.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's an animated thing called Invincible where she plays Debbie Grayson.
Oh,
that was a comic book. Yeah,
that's new.
That Amazon show. I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, I've had a couple of people tell me that I have to watch it, so we should check it out.
That's it.
All right, thanks, Al.
I just want to say while we're still on Sandra Oh, she has possibly one of my favorite SNL appearances ever as Tishy, the super wealthy. I think the joke that she was like a Samsung heir, and she marries some guy, and they keep traveling through time. And the joke kept being like, "And you're still with Tishy," and it ends up that she's like a bajillionaire, but she is the most irritating, grating character I've ever seen on SNL. So good.
Oh, I'm gonna have to Google that one.
Yeah. Her SNL appearance is one of the better ones of that year.
All right. I'll say okay. So we've got Elias Koteas as I said that weird, like an alien from Star Wars. Koteas. As Chuck Duty.
I mix him up with, I don't anymore, but he and Chris Maloney were always mixed up in my mind.
I can see that for sure. Yeah.
But this dude's good, like Maloney. He's pops up and he's pretty good.
He's one of those guys that's like, oh, it's that guy. He's been in a million things. Tucker, A Man in His Dream. He was Casey Jones in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's
right.
I always get
he's in the Chicago verse.
Yeah. I get him mixed up with the guy from Law and Order all the time. Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that's who I was talking about. Yeah, Chris Maloney. Exactly.
Even when watching this, the first time I watched it, I wasn't paying attention to the credits to his name. had me fooled the whole time.
Let's see. We got Michael Kelly as Paul Carter. He's the guy that I always get mixed up with Agent Coulson, or used to.
Yeah.
This is the dude from House of Cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Doug. But he's done movies, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a great dramatic actor.
Yeah, he is. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Dawn of the Dead, The Adjustment Bureau.
Yeah.
We'll see him again in Chronicle.
Is that the Lego movie? No, it's Bionicle.
Bionicle movie. I can't wait to do that one. Oh my god. Jude made me watch a movie last night called Titanic: The Legend Continues. It's an animated film that came out in like 99. And it's the most insane thing I have ever seen.
It's just the wreckage as it sinks.
It's a musical, like in the style of like a Disney film, of a Disney animated film. And it has an animal plot running parallel with the human plot, which the human plot is basically Titanic. It's basically the movie Titanic. But then the animal plot, all of a sudden there's a bunch of Speedy Gonzales mice from Mexico and a dog that raps. And they do an entire rap song called "It's Party Time." And the dog that raps is dressed up like a 90s like Fresh Prince b-boy. It is insane.
Bilge rats are eating everybody.
Yeah. All right. So Lisa Ray stars as Dominique Ball. Who the hell is Dominique Ball?
Oh, she was the news reporter.
That was in like one scene. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Ray. Let's see. Lisa Ronnie Ray, Indian descent. She's mostly a model, and in a bunch of Bollywood films. Let's see. We got Graham Abbey played the captain, the police captain.
Which was an interesting take on a police captain.
Yeah.
He was very empathetic and measured, and like he understood Arthur. You know what I mean? He wasn't a dick to him. I liked that.
Yeah, exactly. He mostly, let's see, he was in John Woo's Once a Thief, Madness of King Richard, Till Death Do Us Part, Degrassi: The Next Generation. From
the new batch, essentially.
He mostly has stage credits. He does a lot of Canadian stage work, a lot of Shakespeare. Oh my God, so much Shakespeare. So that's what he mostly does. Kristen Booth played Wendy Carter. That's the wife of Paul. She was in Detroit Rock City, Cruel Intentions 2. Oh my God, a movie in 2007 called Young People Fucking. At least you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's just watching.
Yeah, geez. And then a ton of TV. Dakota Goyo as Jack. That's the kid. Did he do anything since then? Let's see. He was in the film Dark Skies and the Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah, the Owls of Galulu.
Baloo. Charlotte Sullivan played Faye. That was the mom that we saw in the flashbacks. She does a bunch of supporting stuff in a bunch of movies, like all these guys do. Harriet the Spy, a lot of TV stuff. I have a feeling these are a lot of people that are just friends with Peter Stebbings, the writer-director.
Yeah.
And then, Tatiana Maslany as Olga. That was, I believe, one of the other prostitutes.
Yeah, she was the one in the car that he offered the crack to.
That's right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised to see her in that.
So that's about it for the production. I got a few reviews here.
Yes.
Scuba Steves on Rotten Tomatoes says, Harrelson in his own movie? Now that's a rarity. 3 stars. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Jacob K says, more of a kid-friendly Batman.
Huh.
What?
Crack and prostitutes and
Right? 4 stars. And Bloodmarsh K writes, Defendor, the Great White Dope.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the puns, baby.
It is. It is. So that's about it. Guys, are y'all ready to just jump into the movie here?
Mm-hmm.
Oink, oink, motherfucker.
Here we go. This is Defendor. We open on Arthur. He's a developmentally disabled man who's being interviewed by a psychologist about assaulting a dry cleaner. So
It grabs you from the get-go.
Yeah.
It does.
No,
And the psychiatrist scene is a trope, but this was interesting. It started out allowing you to believe that maybe this was in Arthur's head. Turns out it's not, but
well, I mean, it is and it isn't, because what's actually, with the whole Captain Industry thing, I mean, that's kind of.
No, I know, but she's talking to him
see
for something specific. Yeah, what we see.
Yeah, what we see seems to be actually reliable. His descriptions of, I fought 12 guys.
Right. That wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, okay, so we cut to a city street in the middle of the night. Arthur's dressed up as a superhero. He's patrolling from a rooftop. Then in a car, a prostitute's getting roughed up by some tough guy. Arthur confronts them, discover that the guy is Chuck Dooney, undercover cop. Arthur asks him about someone named Captain Industry and then beats him up.
And he's a crooked narcotics agent.
Yeah, super crooked.
Well, and he uses the guise of being undercover to just go wherever he wants and fuck with people.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not investigating shit.
No, he's just committing crimes.
The first time we see the throwing of marbles.
The throwing of
the
what?
Marbles.
Oh, the marbles. Yeah.
So this movie reminded me a little bit of what was his name? Not Handyman. That's Damon Wayans.
Oh, Blankman.
Blankman. So obviously that was a bit extreme, but then it also reminded me of the movie Split.
Yeah. Huh.
Somewhere in between those.
Yeah, I didn't even think of Blankman, but you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. This is going to be an interesting one to talk about, because I mean, like, Arthur is clearly mentally disabled in a way. Like, he's not not autistic. Like, he's actually like.
Yeah, it's like a diminished capacity type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
we hear from his grandfather later. When are you going to learn how to read?
Right.
Yeah. So he's slowly developing.
I can't remember if it was mentioned, but when I looked this up on Wikipedia, it mentioned fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, I thought I heard that had come up.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. That makes sense too with the whole mom
learning.
Right, the mom backstory. Yeah, so
the objects in his tool belt, his array of weapons,
his arsenal.
Thank you. Is pretty funny in and of itself, but how seriously he takes his weapons, is what's really hilarious. Like aggressively throwing marbles at someone is, I don't know. I never thought about it before. It's inherently funny.
It really is. Yeah, and I kept expecting there to be like them like slipping on the marbles, but I don't think they ever once did.
No, we see a guy later who takes a spill and gets like a concussion from the marbles.
Okay.
In the first scene, Chuck Dooney, I thought it was implied that he slipped on the marbles after they were thrown at him because he fell backwards.
Okay.
I feel like Arthur should have gotten a hold of Kevin McAllister.
Yeah. He's taken Home Alone out to the streets, basically.
Yeah.
All he needs is buckets of paint on string.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, and the best part, so like what really sells this is Woody Harrelson. I mean, he sells this character. It never feels patronizing.
Never.
It's never like a simple Jack situation.
No.
No. And it's it's
a fine line. It's an incredibly fine line.
It is.
He pulled it off. He brought no attention to whatever mental situation we find out he has.
Well, and everything played is endearing.
Yes.
Right.
That was the most powerful part.
Yes, he plays it. Because he plays it honestly, straight, and heartfelt. Like everything, you feel like he really means it.
Yeah, he's a 12-year-old boy in Woody Harrelson's
skin.
Yeah.
You empathize with him. Has anyone ever heard of Phoenix Jones? He's no longer active or whatever.
No.
But he was a vigilante in Seattle, and he actually is the guy that sparked off the, local heroes, the patrol cities, mostly to call the cops. But he had a full-on, latex suit and everything, and couldn't use lethal weapons. And so it just reminded me so much of that.
Huh.
Like that person isn't insane, but there's something going on in their reality that this fits into. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so a little later, Arthur is in a diner eating. A couple cops come in and see him and arrest him. Then down at the police station, we discover that Arthur calls himself Defendor. He talks to the captain, who's sympathetic to Arthur, connects to him over their grandfathers both being in the war, because Arthur uses a trench club as a weapon. That
was badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Negan style.
Oh, God, yeah. He lets Arthur go after confiscating the trench club. When they're not looking, Arthur steals the club back.
Arthur is so sneaky.
He really is, especially with this particular cop.
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked how Captain Fairbanks got him to reveal his name. He's just like, said, you seem very noble or something, but then he says, great men know each other by name. My name's Roger Fairbanks.
Yeah.
And Arthur copied like his little hand rubbing thing before he does that. Like,
like it's something, a social cue or something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna. If you're continuing on the point, go ahead.
He's not necessarily adversarial with the police. He believes he's assisting them.
Yeah.
And in this scene, the cop essentially lets him go. They give him all his gear back except for the trench club.
Right.
But he pulls out the gum and pretends to blow up the lock.
Yeah, with the firecracker.
Yeah.
There are 8 ways to leave. There are 8 ways to escape this place. I'll take the front door.
And for the last time, that real life Phoenix Jones guy, it was the same old thing. They had no reason to arrest him because he never assaulted people. And it was that sort of thing where they couldn't publicly condone vigilantes, but it's just like the guy doesn't hurt anybody. So it felt the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, take this weapon away, but this dude's not a threat. He doesn't have a debt to pay to society.
Yeah. All right. So the next day, Arthur wakes up in his workshop home. At night, he goes out and finds Dooney and a couple of thugs harassing a street artist, a tagger.
Yeah.
He confronts.
Did you see the labels?
Mm-mm.
The label.
On the door, it was Defendor.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. I wrote that down.
Defendor. Yeah.
The utility truck.
Yeah.
And I felt that Defendor was sort of the illegitimate son of Mr. Furious from Mystery Men.
Yeah, for sure.
His power is anger and, and dedication.
Yeah. Arthur confronts them. He manages to injure Dooney with the Hornets.
The jar of angry wasps.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Yeah. Then he gets beat up by the other thugs. The prostitute from the car the night before is in the alley and witnesses it. After a flashback of the night his mother left him to go live with his grandfather, she does the thing about like I'll see you in the moon. Yeah. The prostitute manages to help Arthur get up and back into his truck and goes home with him. She tells him her name is Angel. She smokes a little crack.
No, little.
She smokes a lot of crack, man.
Yeah.
She does. Special occasions.
They bond a bit. She tells him she's going to stay with him for a few days because Dooney's pissed off and he's her meal ticket, and she does trying to stay out of his way for a while. Arthur
meal ticket, and also looming over her is she knows he could actually arrest her and ruin her life.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. So then the next day at his job. Oh, and that Arthur goes to sleep and she steals one of his comics. Then the next day at his job as a road construction worker, his friend and boss Paul takes him to the hospital because of the injuries from the night before. Paul's wife and son arrive at the hospital too. They all care very much for Arthur. Then back at the police station, Chief is on the phone with the commissioner. They have an undercover cop. They're in with a gang of bikers. Dooney comes in. The chief keeps that fact a secret from him. He clearly doesn't trust Dooney. Like, he knows what kind of cop Dooney is.
Yeah.
Back at home, Arthur and the prostitute bond. He tells her that he's after a supervillain named Captain Industry. She tells him she knows Captain Industry. It's a criminal named Radovan. He's a Serbian gangster who smuggles guns, drugs, and is a human trafficker.
And non-pasteurized cheeses from France.
Yeah. She tells him he has to pay her $40 a day for information on where Radovan is. I like the bit with Sandra Oh where he's like, is that too much?
Right. But I don't think he knows.
And then he brings up the Rockford files.
Yeah.
Rockford had to pay for information.
Mm-hmm.
He's
All
right.
Another little indicator, it's subtle, but that he sort of raised himself watching TV, reading comic books, watching superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mom was always out, you could tell.
Well, he says, Al, did you catch when, I don't know if you made a note of it. The captain asked when his grandfather died. And he's
26 years ago.
26 years ago.
Yeah. 26 years.
So if this is 2011 and, Defendor is probably around mid 40s, then he was probably like a teenager when his grandfather died.
Yes, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
So probably got put in some sort of home or like the system at that point, foster care, something like that.
And he realizes the pronunciation, but do you think it's Defendor because of his, whatever learning disability, dyslexia, or what kind of shit? Or was it just because he thought it was tougher?
I think he just thought it was tougher, like the one who, because it sounds superhero-y.
Yeah, that's acceptable. I was just curious.
So, all right. We get another scene with Sandra Oh. Then we cut to the middle of the night. Let's see. The prostitute is angry at Arthur because the comic she still isn't worth it.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to pick nits. What's the character's name?
Well,
at this point, she's calling herself Angel.
She's calling herself Angel. This is the point. I was actually just about to get to it. At this point, she reveals to Arthur that her real name is Kat.
Okay.
Katerina, I don't remember the last name. It's not right here.
Dubrovkowitz.
We'll use that instead of prostitute.
Well, that's what I was getting to, because at this point, she reveals her name to him. She didn't up until this point.
Fair.
Yeah. So they bond a little bit. She reveals she's secretly a good writer, or at least was told she was in high school. Arthur encourages her to pursue that. Yeah. The things we were told we were good at in school. Like, thanks, guys. That's real helpful now.
It's also revealed that apparently Strontium 90 and the Hellbound gang sucks balls.
That is a fact.
Yeah, that's a long graffiti statement.
Issue number 1 was going to fetch her $4.
Yeah.
And so Kat plays 2 roles. Yeah, he mentions the Lois Lane thing, but then also from a superhero movie standpoint, she's the sidekick without making a big deal about it.
Yeah, she is. She's the sidekick. And she's also like
she's Robin.
She's simultaneously Robin and Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
The archetypes. Yeah.
So she tells him she doesn't really know where Captain Industry is. When she went to Radavan's house, she was blindfolded when she was driven there, but it's somewhere out in the country. It's never revealed what city this is. It's clearly a Canadian production filmed in Canada, but
like Toronto.
Yeah, but it's never revealed like what the name of the city is. They refer to it as this town, this place.
Oh, Hammer. They call it the Hammer.
The Hammer. They call it the Hammer. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Little note: the DJ is actually a well-known DJ. I didn't make a note of his name, but he's a well-known actual radio DJ from who's has been working since the 60s. Damn, I didn't write his name down. All right, I'm sure Al will look it up. Al loves looking stuff up. He loves that shit.
Look at him.
Jim Ladd.
What's that?
Jim Ladd.
Jim Ladd.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. He was
still around.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he's on Sirius XM now, I think, but he started off as like a Southern California like radio DJ in the 60s kind of guy. The AM radio, back when AM radio was radio. All right. Let's see. We cut to Dooney delivering a prostitute to Radavan. We see that the cops are surveilling the house.
Like he's DoorDash.
Yeah. Well, no, Radavan gets everything delivered. Like pizza. He gets Chinese food, prostitutes, guns.
Probably in danger if he goes out.
Yeah. Let's see. Then that night, Kat says she'll show Arthur where Dooney hangs out and does his crimes. We get a preparation montage with Arthur and Kat. He's like getting the wasps out of the tank and like doing his slingshot.
He's getting stung. Yeah.
The him getting stung was such a cute moment.
Yeah. So much.
Arthur, they're gonna sting you. I can't watch. And she's like looking away.
Yeah.
Because it's the central question when he uses it against, you know what I mean? Like, how does he get them in the jar? And then they show it, and it's what you think. It's painful
into the jar. Get in there. Go on.
Yeah. He just shoos them in. Like, yeah. So Arthur finds Dooney, kidnaps him, and tortures him for information on where Radavan is. Dooney eventually gives in.
With lime juice. Oh no, not the lime juice.
Yeah. And honestly, a nutcracker on his fingers. That's actually like,
that's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah.
The moment that he grabbed the nutcracker, I was like, oh, where is this going?
Yeah.
Oh, this is really bad. Yeah, Kevin McAllister is an adult, man, basically.
For sure.
Inflicting real damage.
Because the dude would react to the lime juice when he squirted in his eye, but of course it's about a 5 to 10 second reaction.
Yeah, it's like oh my god, that stings! I hate it. All right, now I'm okay.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Not the lime juice. Oh, I'm never gonna forget that.
Arthur shows up at Radavan's house and spies on him. Arthur and Kat have some more bonding time. He encourages her to quit drugs. Then we cut to the next night. Arthur's following Radavan to a meeting with Dooney and a bunch of other guys in his gang. He tells them there's a shipment of guns and girls coming in 3 weeks.
And he has that sweet sort of attitude of like drugs are bad and guns are bad. You know what I mean? Like very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, these things are bad, so let's stop them.
Those are bad guys. Yeah. exactly.
Yeah. Let's see. Radovan. Arthur's cover gets blown when the wall just falls over.
If you think Radovan is right for you, contact your doctor.
When the wall falls over, that was just a perfect comedic moment too.
Yeah, well.
They're all just looking at him. They're all just staring at each other across the room.
Yeah. Did we even mention who plays Radovan? I don't even know if that came up on our.
I did not recognize him whatsoever.
Radovan Chris Stitch was A.C. Peterson.
Huh. I just
he was on Saved by the Bell.
He was the dark agent in Agent Cody Banks.
Ooh.
Oh, of course.
as we all know. Let's see. Let's see. He was in Run, The Cradle Will Fall. On the 12th day of Christmas. It was the 13th day of Christmas was revenge.
Oh, that's what I was. Yeah.
All right. So, So then, Radovan tells them they need to kill Arthur. He gets away. He has to hide in the dumpster.
That was funny.
Yeah.
When he jumped into it, it was in the trailer. But yeah.
Well,
parkour.
And the first time that he jumps into the trash, he says, "Remember the garbage days."
Yeah. I brought that up. I love it. The salad days, the garbage. Yeah. Like those were the days, my friend.
Well, and this is clear that he has remembered the garbage days.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Not just jumping into an empty can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's learning.
Do you think he had to like sort of scrape for himself as far as things he needed? Because Grandpa was a dick. We saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might have been a dumpster diver.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think so.
I'm sure.
As an adult, probably as an adult, not even as a kid.
Well, and at this point, he has a job, so he's got
what he said to himself about remembering the garbage days. That was like remember. He's telling himself to remember when it's safe to jump into a dumpster.
Exactly.
From
that is what he meant. Yeah, for sure.
So, and at this point,
but he knew them.
Yeah.
Sorry, what? At this point?
But at this point, he jumps into a full dumpster.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I thought it was cool how he had to hold his breath, so the steam from his breath didn't give away his whereabouts to Dooney.
That was a cool shot too, with him laying horizontal and Dooney smoking crack on the other side of this trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah. Arthur goes to the police captain, shows him a video of the meeting, but the captain tells him the video doesn't prove anything. Arthur goes home and asks Kat to get more videotapes. She goes out with his debit card.
When he showed up at the police station, he called him commissioner.
Yeah.
He did. Yes. And the chief didn't blink. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was very human.
And he totally disappeared Batman style. Like Fairbanks turned around and then turned back again, and he was just gone.
He was just gone.
Yeah.
I think the commissioner, the captain character, understands that Arthur is like, he's developmentally disabled, and he has to approach him like he is serious at all times.
Right. We got to take this club because that's clearly a weapon.
Yeah.
But give him back everything else and let him go.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Captain knows he's not really a threat, and
he's not hurting anybody really.
And he's empathetic because he knows Arthur's sort of trapped in his own world kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he couldn't tell him, he's like, oh, that videotape, whether it was good or not, he has an ongoing investigation against the crooked cop and stuff, so he can't tell.
Right. And he's clearly not going to try to work with Arthur in the way Arthur thinks they're going to work together to like solve crime. But
he does appreciate that Arthur can and does know information that he wouldn't know, the captain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being in a dumpster next to the cop smoking crack kind of thing. He has access.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
anyway.
Exactly. Paul shows up at the workshop, is upset to discover Arthur living there with what is clearly a crack whore. I guess the workshop is like a city, like property or something.
Yeah, they work for Public Works.
Yeah.
Right. And not to just interject this again, he was immediately hostile towards the woman because he knows that Arthur's probably been taken advantage of many, many times because of his capacity.
Yeah.
And so, he's like, if you're here, you're just fucking with him. Not that he shouldn't have a girlfriend, but that you're here because of that.
Well, yeah.
Well, she's clearly taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure this dude has seen it a lot of times. Like, oh, I met this nice girl. I lent her $500. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, taking advantage.
I mean,
the way.
She is taking money from him. Like, so she actually actively is in this film.
Right, but his friend has probably seen that over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, so for sure.
So he gives Paul tells Arthur he could have stayed at his house. He gives Arthur a cell phone and lets him continue to stay there. We cut to another scene.
The moment he gives him the cell phone, he gives him the biggest hug. That moment, there were a lot of like gut punch moments, and that was one. Like, oh man, this guy really feels appreciated.
He cares, and they work at the same job, but they never quite said what his friend was. But it could very well be that he was a foreman, and he himself hired Arthur.
I'm pretty
as
sure.
I see the good things in this guy. He may not be the sharpest.
He's the foreman when the guys are all sitting around reading the paper.
Oh, good point.
Yeah. And I think he hired him after saving his kid.
Yeah, which
that for sure. Yeah.
At this point, we don't know why. Like, that's kind of revealed later in the film, like why Paul is so invested in Arthur.
It's true, yeah.
And why the son is so attached to him too.
Yeah.
And the wife is so happy to have him around, even though he's kind of nuts.
Yeah, because in a lot of movies, the wife would be like, "Oh, like Paul, why do you keep putting yourself out for Arthur?" But like, not here. She's like on board. Like, he saved my son.
That was a dynamic in this movie, I think, that I really appreciated versus most movies where it's like now the wife and husband are going to squabble over this.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
It's like she's just as caring as he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he obviously, his friend knows he can't have a complicated job or a job with numbers and stuff. But however, if he just went to random construction sites, most people would probably turn him away because of his, capacity. It's not like the military where it's strict, but like, he would have been passed up and probably was a lot.
Well, and
for this dude,
it seems like his job is mostly holding the stop sign too.
Right. The slow sign.
Yeah. Slow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and instead of dismissing him, he found something he could do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like a bagger or a Walmart greeter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is something I very much appreciated in this film, is the lack of so many tropes which it easily could have fallen into, which so many films do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Well, and the not instant redemption of Kat.
Yeah.
We don't get instant like, oh, now I'm going to be your assistant. Like, she's problematic until the very last moment.
No. Yeah, she steals from him, prized possessions and such.
She has a great arc because her arc does take the entire film. It's not it's not until the end of the film that she is changed. Like,
and his main objective is, for her not to do drugs and take care of herself. He doesn't even flinch that she sold his things.
I mean,
he's just like, stop doing drugs.
Well, I mean, Arthur doesn't even really have the capacity to change. I mean, that's very much there. So in a lot of ways, this film's story is the redemption of Kat. Like, her story is the arc of the film.
Well, and it's also a representation of mental illness. I know some bad guys call him the R word a few times, but this movie also is about a man processing where he's at. Yeah. Anyway.
So all right. Let's see. We get another scene of Arthur and Sandra Oh. Then we cut to Kat and Arthur on their way to find some videotapes. They pass a dry cleaner. It's Kat's dad's dry cleaning business. We see him in there. She gets upset and turns and starts heading away. That night, she finally delivers the videotapes. It's a bunch of porn tapes, but she tells him
they're all overdue.
Yeah, she's like, do you know how hard it is to find videotapes anymore?
I recorded the 86 Super Bowl. Don't record over it.
He again encourages her to quit drugs. They get in an argument. Arthur leaves. He finds Dooney and his guys. They get in a fight. Arthur is actually doing pretty good. When Radavan's personal bodyguards show up, he fights the main bodyguard guy who kicks his ass. Arthur calls Paul, and when he does, the guy shoots Arthur, who collapses.
He also got stabbed at this point.
Yeah.
That's right. He got it in the side
Yes.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Paul, after receiving the phone call, goes to the workshop, makes Kat show him where Arthur went. They find Arthur and call an ambulance.
Well, and he gets shot with the MP5, right? This is when the goon in the suit, right, shoots him.
Yeah.
Who, before he shoots him, as he was beating up, he kept telling him to stay down.
Yeah.
Stay
down. And we don't understand at this point why or what's happening, but later on, it becomes clear.
It's being telegraphed pretty clearly, but it's kind of confusing as it's happening. Like, what does he mean, stay down?
Yeah.
Why is he so nice to this guy?
Right.
Yeah. So then we get another scene of Arthur and the psychologist. This is the point where he has a flashback of being in his grandfather's shop and looking at comic books.
With his asshole, bitter grandfather.
His grandfather sucks, honestly.
Oh, yeah. At first, you think that it's like a friendly relationship, and it goes south so fast.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the not so great war.
Yeah.
Then in the hospital, Paul tells Kat that she needs to stay away from Arthur. We learn that Arthur was shot by training bullets, which are just kind of little like paint gun style rubber.
Oh yeah, they were
pellets.
They were paint bullets. That's right.
Yeah.
Why was that guy carrying paint bullets in his MP5 the whole time? Like that's.
Well, I mean,
that is curious.
It's because he's the undercover cop and he doesn't want to actually kill anybody. But that's like a dead giveaway if you do end up having to shoot someone for your mob boss. He's going to wonder why they're not dead.
Good point.
Well, if you happen to shoot a fellow cop, it would look like real bullets because of the paint, and the cop would probably know that.
That makes sense.
It's like, this is our boy. Play dead.
Right. Yeah,
that's true.
For playing possum, that makes a lot of sense.
That's true.
I'll buy it. I like it.
Exactly. Survey says. Yeah.
That's like that was my one gripe with the movie, and this movie stands up. Holy crap!
It does. It really does. All right.
It's seamless as far as its own reality goes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the last movie where they didn't even tell you the reality they were in, really.
All right, so Kat says goodbye to Arthur. And at this point, she reveals that her father sexually assaulted her as a child.
She was the first one that he did that to. And he has continued doing it.
Yes.
He's continued.
Yeah. That was like a very big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
And it explains her life.
Yeah, it explains
choices,
her choices, right?
Yeah,
she had to escape her father.
She had to escape her father. She's trying to self-medicate her PTSD. Yeah.
And it's got some sort of Travis Bickle vibes there when he goes to the dry cleaner, protecting the young girl.
Yeah.
Even though he's misinformed or not clear.
Well, and she says it to him while he is unconscious.
Oh, and right.
Because he had said earlier in the movie that, like, when I get injured, I go to a happy place and I get better. And that's like, he's just awake, but pretending to be asleep. He's literally playing possum.
Yeah.
Like he was pretending to be asleep when his mom came in and told him she was leaving.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And he goes,
he wouldn't get beat if he was asleep, right?
Yeah, there are layers to this.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Wow.
It really is.
Yes, a really good film. All right, so she leaves. Dooney informs Radavan that Arthur is alive. His bodyguard's a cop. Radavan and Dooney take out the undercover cop, and the cop's surveilling them. He sends another thug to go kill Arthur in the hospital, but when the thug arrives, he finds Arthur is not in his bed. We cut to Kat's father's dry cleaning business. Arthur's there in his hospital gown. He beats up her dad and shoves him in a garbage can.
He was garbage. He wanted to go in there.
He wanted to.
Yeah, he kept saying that. He wanted to be in there.
Yeah.
Very simplistic thinking,
Yeah. We cut to the psychologist who asks Arthur why he's after Captain Industry. He tells her that Captain Industry killed his mother. Then we get the flashback of Arthur and his grandfather. His grandfather tells him that drugs killed his mother. The drug pushers are the ones who are responsible for her death. They're captains of industry.
Yeah.
Which is where the misunderstanding of Captain Industry comes in.
Yeah.
As a comic book centric kid, that's how he interpreted, the phrase captains of industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Captain America.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And he didn't have the capacity to ever understand it later on.
It was a simple A to B in his mind. It was very clear to him.
We cut to Arthur in court. The judge, Paul's there to try to take Arthur's side. The judge orders Arthur to be psychologically evaluated to see if he's capable of standing trial. There's a reporter there who wants Paul to talk to her, but she ends up writing a story about Arthur. Then through a montage, we see that the public has become enamored of Arthur as a public figure.
That plexiglass cage that they had him in was one of the most comic book moments. I mean, those are real. Yeah. Those exist in these like revolving door courtrooms. Uh-huh. But just seeing him in that, I was like, holy shit, he's a comic book hero now. Like he looks like he's in a comic book movie. Out of all these scenes, they'd all felt like a guy playing comic book hero. Here he is in front of the court.
Yeah.
Right.
It like cranked up the like talking to the captain thing to another level, because him talking to the captain is the other element that feels like a real superhero moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So then we cut to the psychological evaluation. They're just finishing up. Sandra Oh tells the judge that Arthur's not fit to stand trial. She wants him to be released. Judge says
he needs guidance.
Yeah. The judge says,
her real takeaway.
Yeah, and the judge is like, well, we can't just let him go. And she's like, but we have to keep him out of jail. Like, he can't survive in jail.
Yeah, no way.
Well, and the list of things that she diagnosed him with were tragic. I mean, like PTSD, depression, ADHD, developmental issues. I forget what else.
FAS, the fetal alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Paul agreed.
And the judge empathized with him, I guess, because he says, "Oh, sounds like me."
Yeah. That was an interesting moment. Mm-hmm. That was like this weird, like humanity in the justice system that doesn't necessarily exist. But
yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because none of the people, like the people in charge, aren't all necessarily bad in this film. We've got the captain, the judge, the Sandro, all of these people in a lot of these like realistic superhero movies would be like corrupt or like unwilling to like listen or like hard edged, or
just don't care. They're just you're just another digit in the big machine kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But they all care and they all empathize and can humanize him as a person. It's weird.
Yeah,
it was very surprising at each moment. Like it got me every time.
I'm not sure if I missed it when I glitched, but when he's last talking to the psychologist, he asks, "Was I wrong?" And she says, "Honestly, I don't know."
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's that moral dilemma. It's classic and age old. Is it okay to steal a loaf of bread to feed your family? Is it okay to hurt someone who hurts others?
Yeah.
She doesn't know. He doesn't know. None of us know.
And he can't do nuance. And I think her response was like, there may be better ways to deal with people like that.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's not wrong.
But
necessarily.
wrong. Yeah. Hard to say. Hard to say.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. So, all right. Paul agrees to be Arthur's conservator, and Arthur can go free. He has to live with Paul, and he's no longer allowed to be Defendor. Arthur gets pretty upset about that, but Paul convinces him to go along with it to stay out of jail.
Wonders where he can get a taser.
Where can I get one of those zappy things? They are both laying on the ground together.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment, it's like you can. I'm going to keep circling back around to the humanizing elements of all the characters around him. But man, they both got tasered. They're both laying on the ground. And he makes this joke about the taser. And it's just like, this guy has so much value to people around him.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Did Paul get tased?
I think so. I think they tased both of them because he was getting out of line too because he started shouting.
Yeah.
So, all right. Then we cut to the streets. Kat approaches Dooney, who's busy stealing some kids' drugs.
Yeah. I've had that happen to me before. Not with crack, but a bag of pot.
Fucking sure. Man. Yeah, so she goes with Dooney. Radovan tells his guys that they're not going to kill Arthur until after the shipment comes in. They're going to keep a low profile. They do have a guy. They send a guy out to give Arthur a picture of Kat tied up and inform him that they're keeping her hostage and they'll kill her if he tells anyone about the shipment that's coming up.
If he talks.
Yeah, it simply said talk and she dies.
Yeah.
Shit. Like Jinx.
His interpretation of that made me laugh.
Oh my God, I didn't even put that together. Wow, yeah.
Immediately in the next scene, Jax, the kid, says, "You don't say anything anymore, Arthur."
Oh, wow.
Is that because you're sad?
Taking a vow of silence because of the threat to her life.
I did not put that together. That is amazing.
That's great. Literal.
He is that simple.
Yeah.
He has no capability of interpreting nuance.
Right.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, all right. Then at Paul's house, Arthur is silent and depressed. We discover that he saved Paul's son from being hit by a car. Arthur ruminates for a while, then comes to a decision and decides that he's going to be Defendor and leaves.
Because Jack is behind him pretending to be Defendor.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
And he
finally
says,
just like, go ahead.
Yeah, he says, "No, I am Defendor."
Yeah, because the kid's like, "I'm Defendor." I'm like playing with himself. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, Arthur is so simple. No, I'm Defendor. He's like defensive about there's only one.
Yeah, you're confused.
We cut to Kat being held hostage by Dooney. He lets her out of her restraints because he wants a blowjob.
Well, and she gasses him up with like, "Well, can I make my hair? Don't you want me to look pretty?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This guy's so high on crack, he doesn't know what the hell's going on.
This dude, yeah. So she grabs his gun, shoots him in the balls. She runs. She finds Arthur in the alley. Dooney's going to be there later on when he's telling the captain. Dooney's going to be there. Well, he got shot in the balls, so that's actually still in question.
Well, and we see this happen in movies where characters run into each other in an alleyway. This is a perfect use of that trope where it's just like, "Oh, hey, well, let's get out of here then."
Yeah.
Right.
Normally it feels so contrived.
Yes.
But she didn't need to be saved. He didn't need to save her,
That's what I appreciate is because he was going to save her, but she saved herself first.
Yeah. It was great.
So they go back to the workshop. Arthur tells her he's going to stop Captain Industry as it's the night of the big shipment. He was able to tell time by the phases of the moon because that's like what he pays attention to because of what his mother. Thing. Yeah, because of what his mother told him when he was a child.
Well, and if he's dyslexic, and that's probably in there. It was probably hard to read a clock.
Yeah,
for him.
Yeah. So she, let's see, she wants to give him the gun. He tells her guns don't hurt him because he believes when he got shot that he didn't die because he can't be hurt by guns.
He believed it beforehand.
Yeah.
And this just reinforced his belief, beyond his ability to question it.
Mm-hmm.
Confirmation bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right, he goes, let's see. He's saying he's going to go anyways. She says she lies. Radovan isn't Captain Industry. He suits up and heads out. He stops at the police station, tells the captain he's going to go stop the shipment, tells him that it's going down that night. But before the captain can do anything, Arthur sneaks out again. The captain tells a couple of his guys that they're gonna just them go out and meet in the parking lot. They're gonna apparently he doesn't want the word getting around because he probably doesn't want Dooney to find out.
Yeah. Well, and I think when he realizes Arthur is missing, he was going to not to involve Arthur necessarily.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh shit, man. No. Like you can see the panic
Yeah.
in his face of like, oh no, this is going to be a mess for him.
Yeah.
They're going to kill him. Yeah.
So Kat is worrying and she decides to head out also. Then at the pickup site, Arthur arrives. He causes a lot of chaos with marbles, hornets, and smoke. When he's trying to throw the thing out the window and it just lands in the box next to him on the seat.
Yeah.
It's like, uh-oh.
The truck, him just ducking and like rolling the truck through so slow. Oh, it's like, it's the anticlimactic hero moment.
Yeah.
It was so weird.
Well, there were so many like funny little moments that weren't necessary. Like when, like when the one thug was like playing with the brass knuckles and he like
and dropped it.
Yeah.
And was chewing on it a little bit.
Yeah. And he like,
That's right.
Like all those little things, like, and it doesn't make the film less poignant, like, and it's not slapsticky, but it's real. Yeah.
It makes it real. It makes it feel like real bored criminals expecting nothing to happen.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, Arthur with his like wrist communicator, open the bee door or the wasp door.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
All right.
He's got a new weapon here, the aftershave Molotov cocktail.
That's right.
Yeah. He's been slapping. I forgot about that. Kevin McAllister slaps the aftershave on his face.
Yeah, you're right.
Moves in with him.
All right. So let's see. He managed to take out a few guys and then confronts Radovan. Kat arrives just in time to see Radovan shoot Arthur. Arthur tells Radovan that he killed his mother. Radovan asks asks what her name is. He says Faye. Then he like asks the last name. He's like honestly trying to remember if he killed her.
Right.
Like, and there's a moment here where Radovan's like, well, he talks about like how it's sad that like some of the prostitutes die, and like he seems like he's honestly trying to remember and like offer condolences about killing. Like he's a terrible person, but he's also like trying to show some humanity now and again. It's really interesting.
But he's complex. He's not just an evil villain, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is real. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of these guys that like human traffic and stuff that are like human beings, like they're evil fucks, but also they're like, you know, it's sad. We don't want these women to die, but you know, they're gonna.
This moment also reminded me of Magnum. Did you watch The Sunrise or Archer? Did you watch Regis this morning when he just shoots the Russian?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, because just the turn and shoot, like, oh fuck, I have to shoot this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he manages to get up. He hits Radovan with his club. Radovan shoots him again and turns and walks away just as the cops arrive. There's a shootout going on in the background. The big shootout is off screen, essentially. While Kat tends to Arthur, he's dying. She promises him she'll quit drugs and become a writer. He tells her he loves her. She says it back, and then he dies. This was legitimately like a sad, sad moment.
It was, but good for them for doing it.
Yeah.
Every superhero movie finds a way that the superhero isn't dead.
Yeah.
So it was sad, but it was real.
Well, because the first time that Radovan shoots him, or Radovan Kristich, yeah, he shoots him twice, and then he gets back up and is still alive like a comic book hero.
Yeah.
And it's those last two shots that kill him.
Yeah.
Right.
He probably would have survived the first two.
Out of adrenaline and
Yeah, he very well, if like EMTs had arrived, might have survived those first couple shots. Yeah. But yeah, the last two did him in for sure. So yeah, we cut to a memorial for Defendor. The public considers him a hero. Then we see Kat. She has a home, and she's cleaned up, and she's writing. We roll credits.
Even Ellen, the psychologist, showed up with her kid at the mural.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, and her kid tacked a drawing on the wall. Yeah.
Yep.
And it was interesting the way Kat Dennings looked to her left, which is where the camera was when she at the very end when she's typing.
Yeah.
A wasp flew by.
Yeah.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
Yeah, the wasp was
It flew by her head and led us into the credits.
Right. But it feels like in comic book movies, a tiny indication that maybe he's not dead.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Anyway,
but
interesting.
And oh shit, what was the song in that rolled with the credit?
Treat me like a hammer. Whatever that song is.
Like yeah.
The song was by Metric, and it was "Help I'm Alive."
Okay, yeah. I've heard that a lot over the last 10 years or so, and yeah.
I was surprised to hear that song because it is a popular song.
Yeah. It's probably what a good chunk of his budget went to.
Yeah.
So that's it. I don't really have any unanswered questions for this movie. It was pretty good. It answered all its own internal questions.
Yeah, my only question was the rubber bullets thing, and Al answered that elegantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is a little undiscovered gem.
Yeah. This is probably the most humanizing superhero that we've seen thus far. Like as far as being in a real reality based movie, character based kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and a glimpse into, I don't know, it was really about this. It was really about Arthur and what his mental issues are and how he sees the world. Like, you know what I mean? It was a psychological type movie more than superhero good guy bad guy thing. Yeah, which I appreciated. How very human.
Yeah, it was a film about Arthur that was dressed in the trappings of a superhero film.
Yeah.
I honestly think that this movie got the most emotional response out of any of the movies that we've watched. From me, at least. I just was watching it last night. Why does this keep just getting me? Why?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like this one, and way under the radar. It wasn't even on the list originally until I saw it come up somewhere somehow, and I realized it was supposed to be on the list. But
wow, glad you did.
Yeah, great movie.
Imagine if Superman had to go to therapy for one reason or another.
He probably should have.
He should have.
We've seen a number of Superman movies, and that dude's messed up.
Right, but how hostile he would be.
Oh, God, yeah.
Anyway.
I'm Superman.
The fuck are you asking me that for?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, any last thoughts, guys?
No.
No, not really.
Charming little film.
Yeah, really was. All right, you're ready to rank it?
Sure.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah, let's see, our rankings. This one's rough. Just because it's so different, the one it most reminds me of is probably Unbreakable.
That's exactly what I thought too.
Split. If you ask me, Split.
Well, yeah, but we haven't gotten to Split yet. The one that's currently on our list that it most reminds me of.
I see. Yeah, then I guess that one. But let's see. Will you scroll up? What's number 21? Superman Returns.
Yeah. Do Sky High, The Mask, Constantine. I mean, it's better than a lot of these movies, but in a very different way.
Yeah. This movie didn't have a lot of flaws.
It really didn't.
What about above superhero movie? It was better than that.
Oh, absolutely. Where is superhero movie?
34. Yeah.
Oh, superhero movie. Yeah, I mean,
I think this was better than Orgazmo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah,
this is a top 20 easily. I don't think it breaks the top 10 necessarily, but
I think it's better than Orgazmo, and that's funny because it is similar. It's a small independent film about a superhero in a real life situation.
I mean, was it better than Batman 66? I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It made a little more sense than The Crow.
Yeah.
It did.
Plot-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Not just thematically.
Yeah.
Well, and Batman 66 is essentially up there because, we loved the product itself, the colors, the characters,
Yeah. Yeah.
This is probably a better movie. It was excellently written. So, well, we could put it between Blade and Unbreakable or Unbreakable and The Crow. Al's right. It made more sense than The Crow.
I mean, I think this was better than Unbreakable in a lot of ways. Those emotional beats in Unbreakable just didn't land.
A lot of them didn't, yeah. A lot of them, in retrospect, seem very, like, cold and, like, precise.
Yeah. What about between that and Blade?
I can see that. What do you think, Al?
That looks good, I think.
Okay.
Blade's a pretty kick-ass movie.
It is.
It is. And I mean, it gets to a certain point where, like, we can say, like, for instance, like, this movie probably has a better script and is truer to its own story than, like, a lot of these movies up here. But in the end, it's not that kind of superhero movie.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fair place.
All right. Yeah. That's my vote.
I mean, it's going to be interesting when something like Super comes around.
Which a lot of those are coming soon. We've got,
and where those will wind up against this kind of thing too.
Yeah. Well, and next week especially is going to be interesting because next week we've got another one of these. We'll get to that in a minute, but I think that's fair. So are we all there, guys? We'll put it at 15, right above Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Are we all cowabunga on this?
Yeah. Cowabunga all around. Number 15, and this movie only made $44,000 in theaters.
And it was made by this, like, B-list Canadian, like, actor, like, that's hardly done anything.
I love it because the rules are made up and the points make no sense.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a good choice for this movie.
Me too.
I think so.
I really enjoyed this. And yeah, so that does bring us to next week. Next week, we're, as we had recently promised, and now we're coming to it. I put our dates for all of 2010 here so I don't get them mixed up again. Next week, we've got Kick-Ass.
Cool.
So that's another kind of like realistic superhero movie. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Kick-Ass, that will be our next week one. And I think that's it for us, everybody.
I think so.
Thanks everybody for listening. This has been Harmless Phosphorescence. This has been your host, Throw Smiley. And now it's time for me to make like a jet and take off.
I'm Josh Cece, and remember to buy Poppington brand popcorn.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'll see you on the moon.
I'm Alaric Weber, and Plastic Man writes my dialogue.
That's dope.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.